Internet. OBS, I know you're feeling unstable, and I hear you. And we all feel unstable sometimes, OBS. But the things that matter, same to be honest. Jen, do you want to say some stuff? Hang on. Does that feels
I would
OBS?
love to say all the stuff. Is it working? Is it working?
We're so good at stuff.
Ah, it happened. We made it happen. Thank
Everyone,
goodness. All right.
claps in the chat. We
Woo!
we did it.
Woo!
We did it.
Doing this.
Tiny shout out, Jen. I don't know if you've seen my mod Cosmoverse is in chat. I just want you all to know that while that was happening, Cos was sending me a separate message being like, "Dear sweet lovable dingus, do these like gently and kindly, like with
I
no
love
judgment."
I love the non-judgmental, like, hey, did you turn it on and off? Hey, did you try this? And I'm always pleased when someone's like, hey, you know what? I noticed that you're having trouble walking. Could you untie your shoelaces from each other and maybe just tie your shoes? And I'm like, oh,
it's
you know
the
what?
it's the I notice. I notice. Cause says, please put out small fire if it brings you joy. I feel seen by this. Can we all just celebrate? I just want to point out that I feel Jen is tailor made for Twitch in all of her actions, behaviors, and responses so far. Okay, all of you, all of you. Brenda, please untie shoelaces from each other. Mod love
I
in the
love it, Brenda.
chat.
I think it might be me.
I don't
Maybe
think
both
it
of
was
us.
both of us. It was both of us. This is we've Jen and I got along very well immediately, and I feel one of the reasons is that we're both like we have like big like golden retriever energy. We're like real excited and happy to be here. Kind of like button mashing a little bit, but like so thrilled. This was all so normal, right, Magic?
It's funny because after this, I'm gonna go to the bookstore that I work in, where I'm the only extrovert that
Oh
works
no.
there, and I have to like take that. A friend of mine who was going for a walk with me met me at work after work, and I told my manager, I'm just waiting for my friend while it's raining out. And he goes,
Yeah.
"Is that the one that came in and was like all chaotic and was like whoa?" And I was like, "Yeah, I oh." And I didn't even notice because I was like all chaotic too, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's how they
Yeah.
see me."
You mean
Oh,
like an awake person? Like a person who was not asleep?
engaged and not hiding behind a book.
Just
You know, I'm
excited. Just excited.
and
Oh
I'm the
my
romance
god.
the romance person, so I read all the romance novels. And then some lady came in and was
Of
like,
course you are.
"I need all this stuff," and I was like, well, I'm here for you. Let's find the right thing. Not enough? Okay, let's find you
Got it.
more.
Got
And
it. Got it. Got
everyone
it.
in the store was like, and I was like, "Would you? I'm helping.
I'm helping.
I'm helping. Just helping."
Oh, Jen, thank you so much for coming in. Everybody say hi to Jen, co founder of the Loose Ends Project. Beloveds, you have already given such a sweet, wild, warm welcome. Also, thank you for driving a hype train through our tech issues.
Oh gosh.
Very jester of all of you. Very jester. Hello, sweet everyone's. I'm so happy to see you. Uh, if you're not familiar, Cause just dropped the loose ends command. Luke popped it into the chat a couple times before. And friends, we have the absolute honor and privilege of chatting with our friend Jen today. And I am so excited to get to talk directly to the amazing folks at Loose Ends who were our most recent Crayon Fund recipient and one of the biggest heart squeezes we've ever worked with. Oh my god, it's an honor and a pleasure. Jen, do you want to I feel like a lot of folks are aware of Loose Ends, and buddies, if you've volunteered to be a finisher or a translator, please shout about it in chat. But Jen, do you want to give folks just a little rundown of the
Yeah.
magic that you're doing?
Yeah. So a year and a half ago, a friend of mine's mom passed away, and we started making and she had that bag of stuff that you guys are all going to have with all of your crayons and all of your stuff, all your art supplies, right? And anytime somebody passes away, that I'm knitting as we speak, but anytime somebody passes away, I always have somebody show up at my door with like boxes of yarn, and they're like, "You want this, right?" And I'm like, "No, I have so much." But you can't say no, right? So you say, "Okay, I'm going to take care of you." And you go through all the stuff and you figure out who's going to get what. But usually we find some half finished projects. And what we found out is with my friend Patty, her mom had 2 blankets. And I hate crocheting. I hate it with a passion. Don't make me crochet. But I was going to crochet this flipping huge blanket. Like, it was ginormous. And there were like 30 skeins of yarn, and I'm sitting there like thinking that this is my life now. I'm going to be making this blanket. And Macy said, "I have this idea. I think other people like finishing things, and they would like to finish this." So I made a nonprofit so I didn't have to crochet. That's all that is. Like, I crochet, and here I am. So, but what we do is, in August of 2020, we put out a website. We started doing bad things on the internet, like popping into groups we didn't belong into and saying, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And we get thrown out of quite a bit. And then we'd get, people would be like, "Oh, that seems neat." And after about 2 months, we had 150 people in the United States who wanted to craft for other people. And we had 5 projects. And then somebody's daughter that I know works for a TV station, and she said that would make a nice little human interest story. And we did a little human interest story, and I cried on TV, and more people joined us. And now it's kind of just blown up. And I was looking for a job at the time, and now I don't. Now I can't. So we now have 21,000 crafters across the globe in 64 countries, and we've received over 2,000 projects. So that's what we do. And I don't know, did I actually say what I did? What we do is, I don't actually finish squat. I'm not the finisher. I type on the internet all day, and I try to remember how to spell, and I say things like, "Yes, we will help you." But what we do is, if somebody has passed away and they have left a project behind, like just anything, we will find somebody to finish it. And it has to be a fiber arts project. We do not do woodworking yet. And we have lots of mad dads because we do not do woodworking. But I don't know how to get a coffee table to another state without lots of money. Like, I would like, maybe in the future we can figure it. If we get a huge enough thing, it could be close enough. And we match people with projects. And you don't have to be dead, but you can't just be bored with it. That's kind of our thing.
What a great boundary. You don't have to be dead, but you can't just be bored.
You can't be like, "I have grandchildren now. I do not want to do this." I'm like, no.
Genius. Genius.
So
yeah. I remember that's beautifully put. But so some folks in chat have heard me doing the little like 10-second summary, which encapsulates nothing compared to what you just shared about loose ends. But the concept of this, I mean, magical chat, you can vouch for this. We felt a really strong connection, I think, to loose ends the second we heard about it. And it was DMCS, shout out to DMCS, who saw the was it 90-second documentaries? What was the
60-second
documentary? And
I don't know if you know this, but I'm a kind of a big deal.
You're kind of a big deal. Jen's kind of internet famous.
We had 12 million views.
Okay, so kind of a big deal.
Ridiculous. My children are like, "Please don't talk on the internet anymore."
Yes, talk on the internet. No, with me. We won't tell your kids. It's fine. One of us. I immediately, when Sean pointed it out. It's one of the things that I think our community is super connected to, super connected to immediately, which is awesome. Because of my incredible ability with technology, I don't know if you know this, I am a wizard. Witness. Oh, is it two of us on the internet? Did we do it right? Hi, Dad. Look at that. Look at it. Look at it. Look, everybody look at it right now in case it breaks. Everyone look at us. Are you so proud?
No, don't mad.
No, no, don't do it. Don't do it. We gloated. We jinxed it. No. Oh, no. I caught a glimpse before internet. I swear to butts. Jen is really like doing everything in her power, and as we all know, the internet isn't really.
No, it's my friend today.
There it is.
It's good.
Can you see? No, we don't look at it. Nobody look directly at it. Nobody looked at this. You did this. You do it to yourself. We're doing a great job. I don't know what everybody's talking about. Look away! Everyone shut your eyes!
It's all fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
Holy cow.
I'm a professional.
That was bad.
I'm a professional. Thank you for averting your gaze. Everyone avert your gaze. But Jen, just so you know, literally every time we've done anytime we bring to anytime we use a new tool, this is just how it is. And this tracks. I feel comforted and right that
I was just saying, you know what? My computer was trying to tell me to restart and download a new operating system, but it won't do that. No, I think the last thing you saw was like, no,
yeah.
And it did it.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
Don't apologize.
This is my first rodeo.
It's also my first rodeo. Listen, I've never been on the internet before. I have never one time been on. This is my first time on the internet. Everybody, can you just like celebrate that Jen really was in the trenches there for a minute? Yeah, I don't even go here. Okay. It says so on the back of my sweatshirt.
I just kept I was like, okay. Oh, it says 10 minutes now. All right. It says 9 minutes now. Excellent. Okay.
What you all didn't see is Jen was sending me photos of her screen just with the screen of death and the tiny inchworm of progress.
Progress. It's because I made fun of crocheting. I think that the internet gods and the crochet gods are buddies.
Yeah.
And when you mock one, the other one knows. They do.
Friends, just a reminder, the notifications are turned off on this screen. So I adore you all and I appreciate you enormously. And I will celebrate all of your wonderfulness. I do have notifications turned off on here just because I don't have the ability to have a coherent conversation at the best of times, let alone with notifications. Friends,
thank you.
Everybody say hi to Jen, co-founder of the Loose Ends Project. Yeah. Wait.
Super talented computerer.
So computer. Look. Oh la la, starting soon, la la la, new stream, it's never. Wow, hey friends, welcome, hi to the start.
New.
It's brand new. Every moment is a chance to try again.
Deep breath.
Ooh.
Healing breath.
We're doing great. Good. We're doing great. Luke has just dropped the Loose Ends command, and if you weren't here earlier, this is Jen, co-founder of the Loose Ends Project. Loose Ends is the one that we've been hollering about for the last couple months. They're the most recent recipient of the Crayon Fund. Loose Ends pairs people they call finishers, makers, crafters, knitters, tatters with projects that have been left behind by loved ones due to death or disability. Jen is part of the magic that put those people together with those projects so they can be completed and returned to the people who are missing the one who would have made them. I think their work is incredible. Hands up if loose ends, the concept, the project made you cry when you first every time. The first time I had to talk about it on stream, just it was inelegant. It was inelegant.
It does make you cry a lot, and it's like I don't ever get used to that. And sometimes I talk about projects, and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna cry. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad.
I sobbed during the Patreon sneak peek. Mars is right. I had a little like separate, smaller hangout just with the patrons, and I was trying to practice to be able to like, because you want to be able to get the sentence out.
Yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad.
It's bad.
I'm sorry. I make people cry all day long.
What?
Yay!
But like, kind of your superpower. Jen, if folks are just joining us, do you want to just give them a quick little rundown of the how and the what of loose ends? We probably have some new people in here.
Yeah, sorry. First of all, my computer might like me now. It's doing good things, so we're gonna.
We love you, computer. We love you, computer.
We love you, computer.
We're so proud of you.
Fun fact, I used to teach computer skills workshop at a very prestigious college in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I still can't get my computer not to do what I don't want it to do. So, hey, look at that.
Amazing. Amazing.
Anyway, so what Loose Ends does is if people pass away and they're in the middle of projects, usually, their knitting group, their quilting group will finish it for them and help that family. But a lot of times, people don't know what mom's got in the bag, right? Like, there's a great Onion article. It's like, mom's gonna go do her thing. She's got her bag to do her thing. And nobody actually says what the thing is because nobody really knows what mom does. And like, I'll be knitting away and people are like, oh yeah, my mom's a crocheter. I'm like, no, I'm a knitter. So when people don't have people to finish those things, it's sad. And people get sad and they do things like hold on to these half-baked things forever. We've found things that were like 100 years old. And they're like, well, my great-grandmother was working on it. I never wanted to throw it away, but nobody knew how to do it. And we find glorious, wonderful people who are like, oh yeah, I'll do that. And not only do they do that, like we will find out, like somebody's like, how many projects have you finished? And I'm like, I don't know. And the reason I don't know is because the crazy people who do this will do something like they'll get the project and we'll be like, you have to complete this one quilt. And they're like, okay. And then they come back and they're like, well, there were 9 in the bag, so I just did them. And you're like, what? No. And they're like, well, we didn't know. And it turns out there was a lot more in there.
Oh my God.
And then sometimes it's like, my mom was making a sweater and you see these pictures of things and it's like, well, that's an arm. That's a back of a sweater. That's a hat. Like, so people don't know. So we have these talented people who are like, I'll do it. No problem. And then they're like, and there was extra yarn. So I made a teddy bear. I'm like,
oh my God.
Okay.
This is so right. It's so right.
It's one of these things that like we looked around and we're like, nobody's doing this. Somebody should do this. And then people were like, people do this all the time. And I'm like, yeah, they do. But not everybody's got a people.
Yes.
So that's the amazing thing. And the 60-second video I was in has me frantically knitting. Just know, I'm not doing squat. Like, I'm not finishing buckets. There's nothing that I finish. I finish emails all day long.
Right.
I'm an email lady. So I couldn't do any of this if it wasn't for the people who volunteer. Like, they would not exist without our volunteers. And they're just, like, we had one lady who's like, I'm finishing a rug. And she sent me pictures. And I was like, what is that? And she's like, oh, I couldn't find wool that was the right color. So I learned how to dye wool and made my own dyes. I was like, are you flipping kidding me? This is what? So she made her own stuff and it was like, no big deal.
Oh my God.
A big deal. Like, they're just amazing, amazing people out there. By the way, while I was screaming at the internet gods. I got an email that said that Raven's doing a Swedish translation for us. Oh my goodness.
Raven, that was
That's
the
amazing.
email that I told you all that Jen was like, who are these people? And I was like, they're magic. I don't know. They're magical people. But this is exactly the energy that you're describing. The people that are like, oh, there's 9 quilts. I guess I'll make 9 quilts in a
Yes,
teddy
I'll
bar.
do that.
Oh, that seems fine. That seems fine. So teddy bear, okay. Also Jen sent me a note about a bonus donation that was made from the Jesters and was like, did you know about this? I was like, no, they don't tell me anything. You are truly the Chaos Goblins and Jesters. I am in awe of you. I am in awe of you. You terrify me, frankly. You're a little out of hand. You terrify me.
Imagine what they could do if they assemble.
Yeah, well, and thank you for using your superpowers for good. I guess.
Yeah, like
so glad you're not evil.
In the world, if they wanted to, imagine the chaos crafters could create if they were just like, you know what, I'm gonna do some bad stuff.
Truly, but that also, I really think one of my favorite things about Loose Ends Project is the fact that so many folks in our community, we have a ton of crafters. This resonated for them immediately, and I can see a lot of you saying like, oh yeah, like I did this or like my grandmother did that. Like, we know this is one of those things that when you hear about this organization, Loose Ends makes total sense, and we all intuitively understand why this would matter. And the whole community, which consists of a lot of makers and also a lot of people who support makers, which, you know, same, donating money and donating time, same.
And donating your talents that aren't craft. We have so many. My next door neighbor is a computer programmer, and they have Christmas dinner with us. And he apparently went to bed on Christmas Eve and said to his wife, "I'm not making this for Jen." And I said, "Making what? What's he making? I don't know what." And the next day he was like, "You have like an hour?" And I was like, "Sure." And then he mapped out the whole app because I was doing all of the matching in spreadsheets. No bueno. No,
right.
No, don't do that. It does not work well. It is not a good thing. Imagine, if you will, a spreadsheet with 21,000 rows, and just how slow. So anyway,
I can't.
Mark made me an app, and it took time, but it's like I can take an address and put it in, and all of the finishers around will pop up on a map, and I can pick the closest one so that. Because this is about getting people together and having community and having them help each other, because a lot of people don't see the people that are in their community that can help them, because we're all we've been isolated, we've been on Zoom, we haven't been together. I mean, we're together right now, but we don't always notice the people in our lives that can help us, and they're everywhere. And I'm an extrovert, and I talk all the time. Like, I talk to people all the time, and people, I'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go see that person, and they're from Philly," and somebody will be like, "Well, how do you know that?" I'm like, "I talk to them." Like, I don't know how you don't talk to somebody and know that their grandmother's cat just had glaucoma surgery. Right. Like, I don't know. Like, there are some that people tell me things. We do things. But so our whole thing is we match people close. So, you know, environment, money, it saves time. But also, hey, now you got a friend that's 2 miles away that wants to help you.
Totally.
And then, like, we ask you, like, how good are you at this thing? And can you do this? And sometimes they're like, "Oh, I cannot do that." And I'm like, "Okay, throw you back in the pool." And then the last thing is, I know you can do this. Do you want to do this? I could definitely make a crochet blanket. Do I want to make a crochet blanket? No, I do not. So that's the big thing. We try to make sure that people are happy with the thing. And you can always say no. And if in the middle of something you're like, "I don't want to do this anymore," no harm, no foul. It
Right.
wasn't gonna get done before. Like that's the secret part. Is it wasn't gonna get done. So it's okay.
So
It turns out
any amount is amazing.
like if you figured out like, oh, it needs this yarn, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Great. That's awesome. Thank you for playing. You know,
Totally.
and we have projects that will make you cry. But then we have ridiculous projects. Like I got an email that right in the beginning it's like everybody in my family has an ugly blanket from grandma except for Bob. Can you finish Bob's blanket, please? He needs an ugly blanket. And I'm like, does grandma know you're saying her blanket's ugly? Like, did she know this?
That's so great. Well, and one of the things that I remember when you and I were first talking, this was a really interesting kind of like nod that you and I ended up chatting about later. We've talked about this in our community. Often when we're looking for projects to work with, one of the things that I'm looking for is some kind of like inclusivity statement or something on the site. And one of the things that really stood out to me was that Loose Ends was doing so much to try to translate their info into as many languages as possible, because this is such a universal experience for someone to be lost and leave things behind, and so like culturally transcended. And you already had so many translations on your site that I was like, that's amazing that they've done this. And one of the first things when I talked to you, I didn't even know that this would happen, but that people started to volunteer, like Raven, to help with hands up in chat, boo-boos, I know you're in there, if you volunteered and you're like, oh yeah, like not knitting, but like I speak perfect German or whatever, which and like wild. Never thought of that.
The 11th person to sign up with us was a woman I knew from college.
Oh yeah.
And as people started signing up, she's like, oh, I'm not as good as I thought in sewing, but you know what I'm good at? I'm good at a spreadsheet. And I was like, well, damn, girl, come on in.
Yeah, right? And bring us that spreadsheet skills.
Priebus. I think Priebus said that they're going to do
Norwegian, probably. Right?
Thank you.
Prebis is up. The Prebis is this crayon right here. That's that Prebis. Also, there's a sculpture of Prebis over that you can't see, but it's a little white cat with two halos, and Raven is right beside the little black cat with an ink.
Thank you so much.
You're all amazing.
You people are the best.
Afflicted crafts. Golganek. I like the phrase afflicted crafts. Do you want to? So I thought you put it really beautifully when you were explaining a little bit about what the Crayon Fund is going to go towards. So we always talk about like what can this do? How can we can we fix something, please?
You guys are. This is what we are earmarking this for is, when people think of crafters, a lot of times they think of old white ladies. I'm an old white lady. I am ambiguously.
You're ethnic. Ageless, white lady.
I'm ageless, but I am ambiguously ethnic, and people ascribe all kinds of things to me. I am Irish and Slovenian. That's not very anything. However, we know that crafters come in all shapes and sizes and are in all kinds of communities, and we don't want our community to be English centric,
right?
Which is why, because turns out craft is universal, and people who love to craft are Slav-Irish.
Slav-Irish. Drongo's correct.
Yeah, exactly. But we need to include those people. So our crafters are not a monolith. We have people who are teenagers in high school who are like, I want to volunteer. I had a woman who was like, I'm pushing the button on the screen and it's not doing anything. And I was like, sweetheart, can I help you? And she's like, I'm 93 and I knit. And I was like, excellent. I'm going to sign you up myself.
I have all the information I need.
Like there are people all over the place. And what we're going to use your funds for are to buy our Adobe suite for my partner Macy, because Macy is a graphic designer, and we're also going to work with translation services to spot check things and do things and reach out to other communities of color and just different people from us, because grief is universal, and we want to make sure everyone's included.
That's
So
incredible.
this is amazing that you guys reached out to us and that you raised so much money for us. It was so lovely. So
I'm
we're gonna
so happy that it's going towards inclusivity and making this more accessible. I'm also just going to say hi to Struble, our friend Struble, who is also incredibly talented and fluent in German, if I'm not mistaken. Struble has just rated us with a lovely community. Hello, sweet friends. If you're just joining us today, I have the absolute honor of hanging out with Jen, the co-founder of Loose Ends Project. If you put !Loose Ends in the chat, you'll get a link to the incredible organization that Jen has co-founded. Luke just dropped that command. Raiders, hi, hello, welcome. It's lovely to see you. If you're new here, my name's Brenda, aka Art and Jest, like that over there in that corner. Normally the Jesters hang out here and we're supposed to be getting into all kinds of artsy antics. We draw, make up stories, play doodle games. Once in like 84 years, I'll draw something. It's very rare, and none of that matters right now. Nobody cares. If you're sticking around after a raid, giving a new streamer a chance, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Stroob, my angel. Indy, how was your stream? What did you get up to? Tell me everything. Also, is there something I can doodle for Yoodle as a thank you for that raid? And Raiders, I would really encourage you, put !Loose Ends in the chat and go check out the amazing work that Jen and Loose Ends Project are doing. Come on in. Hi, Raiders. No, we're not saying hello with bits. Brett in a box, you're naughty. You naughty behave yourself. Oh, you made a new coffee sticker? Stroobs, if there's something I can draw for you, let me know. It would be my absolute pleasure. We're on a little secret screen right now so that we can hang out with Jen, and the notifications are turned off on this screen, so I will hop back into the other one after our chat. But for the moment, we have all our notifications muted just so that we can hang out. Stroobs, thank you so much for the raid. It is an absolute honor to have your beautiful community come and hang out with the Jesters. You're an absolute delight. Please draw you whatever you're in. Jen has that Stroops, you angel. Struble's given me artist choice for a raid doodle. So Jesters, one of the things that Jen and I talked about the Crayon Fund going towards was helping with some of the translation services, which can be very expensive when you're getting like professional translators to proofread and stuff. So having some of you volunteer to do translation work is huge. Thank you so much for bolstering that financial support with your time. I'm amazed and honored. Also, thank you to everybody who has signed up to be a finisher. That's super cool that you would do that. And also there was one. What was the Adobe? Was that the other thing? The Adobe?
So Adobe is
right.
I am not a graphic designer, but it's the Adobe suite is kind of pricey. So you guys have funded it for us for a couple of years actually, which is
that's so cool.
It's really cool. Oh! You guys are amazing. I can't even.
It's not me. It's them. This is Jesters. Really true. Friends, who knows the pain of the Adobe being the thing, and also she pricey to be able to pay for a couple of years worth of that
years
for you is awesome. I am
so awesome. You guys are amazing.
I am delighted. Also, Struble, yes, please. Friends, my loves, angel darlings, I do not see the notifications. I have all your misbehaviors covered up because obviously I do. So if you're acting up, they're very badly behaved, Jen. They're very badly behaved. They're naughty. Drongo wanted me to point out this is all people that are naughty.
They had to sit so quietly. There was so much going on when the intertubes were not working.
It's true.
I apologize.
It's true.
So sorry.
It's true. They did. I am in awe of all of you. I'm gonna go through all of your notifications after this so that I can yell at you properly. Before we say goodbye to Jen, does anybody have any questions or anything that you're wondering about for the Loose Ends? If you think of something after, you can always let us know. We'll put you in touch. Yeah. Struble, how dare you? Jen, thank you so much for coming on and for like chopping through the tech issues.
You guys, I'm so proud of the fact that I got onto the inner tubes and made it happen.
You're
and
amazing.
I'm so excited to be here. This was so much fun, and this was my first Twitch stream.
Claps in the
This
chat.
is it.
Bubble Fight Club. Bubble wanted to know on the Tell Us About You page, can you edit it after you submit it?
Yeah, you can. I bet you guys can do it. Like we have a it's a little clunky, but
Mm-hmm.
when you submit it, it gives you a password, and you can go in and you're like, hey, now I know now blending, so I know how to do
Okay.
that. So you can
Cool.
go back in there, or hey, I just did needlepoint and I never want to do it again.
That's
Totally
really
fine.
funny.
Yeah, yeah, you could do anything you want.
I also saw the question. So Mars asked, "When's your first Twitch stream?" And Brett said, "Come and hang out with us anytime." And they mean it, and so do I. You are so welcome. Please come anytime. Also, Raven had a suggestion for the signups about people being able to say if they had allergies to certain
Yes,
fibers and stuff.
that's a huge thing. We let you tell us about allergies. We let you tell us about smoke because some people don't like the smoke,
Right,
and some of our projects don't like the smoke.
right.
But that doesn't just if you are a smoke person, that does not exclude you. We
Okay,
sometimes have the smoke people. We also
totally.
ask, like, does alpaca make you itch?
I,
You know,
valid and important. JC said, I know you have finishers, but it's very common for people to have something from a relative break, like with jewelry and stuff. Have you thought about having people help with repairs? And I know we touched on it a little bit with the
we
woodworking,
So
like
we don't
genres.
do anything fiber we will do. And we have fixed a number of things. A number of things we have fixed. Like there was a blanket in Victoria, BC that somebody had passed down 3 generations. And by the
Oh,
third
wow.
generation, they were afraid to use it because it had so many holes in it. And the one of our finishers did some beautiful visible mending,
Oh, that's so
and it was
cool.
so beautiful, and it just like, yeah, we do stuff like that. I do have people who really love jewelry making and love all
Oh,
kinds of art things. If the one thing we have trouble wrapping our heads around is how do we get large pieces, like woodworkers are like, what
mm,
about the woodworkers? And I'm like, well, that's hard. It's hard to take the coffee table and send it across the country or across the world.
right.
So um I think as we grow, we might be able to get more woodworkers in, and the more people we have, then we can offer that service. So
Totally. So the
and
way
jewelry is nice and easy too. So I think we should
that's true.
be able to do that. But right now we're fabulous, just
Uh,
fabulous.
And kudos to you for, I think Donna said it really well, the concept of scope. It can be so hard when you're excited and you know that you're onto something, not to just expand. Friends, there is a giveaway. You can put exclamation mark enter in the chat. Jen, please feel free to do this as well. I see you making a hype train. I know that you're acting up, and I'm going to yell at you all individually. You naughty. You naughty and you test me. Exclamation mark enter in the chat for a chance to win a beanie, you goblins. Uh,
This has been such a delight. You
oh,
guys
I'm so
are
glad.
amazing. Thank you so much. This has been so much fun.
Thank you
I,
for
I don't know if
coming.
I'm gonna have a Twitch stream anytime soon, but this
If
has
you
been
want to come hang out on mine, you can just cut. You it doesn't matter. We'll do it 10 times. You come. We'll start over. We don't care. We don't care. Everything's broken on here all the time. Anyway, it doesn't, including
oh,
me. Okay, doesn't
I
matter.
feel like I found my people.
Ditto. Ditto. Buddies, if you do think of any other questions that you'd like to share with Jen, there's some info on the website. Also, Jen, as of right now, this moment, what's the best way that we as a community can support you? How do we help? What do you want us to do?
So, time, treasure, talent, people. That's what being in a nonprofit's all about. I frequently get asked by my former college to pay for naming buildings, and I'm like, I'll just check the couch cushions right here.
Mm,
But that's not what people. That doesn't matter to me. If you've got a skill and
mm.
you'd like to volunteer that skill, I'd love to have your help. We need help with any kind of fiber arts. We love people to sign up as finishers. We love people to sign up with tech support. Like if you have some techie skills and you would like to help us, lovely. If you've got some translation skills so that we can go to communities that I don't speak the language in, we would love that help too. Um, and that's it. Like, just those kinds of things are always welcome, and you can go to our website uh, to get there. So, thank you so much. This has been such a pleasure.
Listen. Every once in a while, we meet someone that we're like the best friends. We are best friends. One of us. Jen, thank you so much for coming on here and
Thank
sharing
you.
your magical energy. Exclamation mark loose ends in the chat if you'd like a link. The pleasure has truly been ours. Also, jesters, really and truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you
You
for
guys are the
making
best.
the Crayon Fund possible. None of this is possible without all of you and all your absolute wildness
Aw,
that I see you currently doing in chat. Congratulations,
you
Brett in a
guys are
box,
amazing.
on winning Silver's beanie. Raven, I see you. Raven, you're in so much trouble. Raven is also just screaming, Lou sent his best friend. Brett, I think you
And
won the
my
beanie.
window, we had to. I wanted the windows on the outside of the house. I
Oh.
found them in my basement, and my husband said, "No, there is this thing called heat, expensive. Put them on the inside of your house." And I was like, "Okay." So
That's
that's
awesome.
not actually outside. That's my hallway,
Oh,
and
that's
I
awesome.
put it in my wall.
Oh my god, I love it. Friends, please shower the chat with all of your loving favorite emotes of any kind. Huge thank you to Jen for coming to hang out with us. We're
Thank you
gonna.
so much for your patience during
Oh my god.
the computer restart of its own, the
Oh my
possession
god.
of the computer.
Anytime. 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 If that hadn't broken, I would have broken something else. Jen, thank you so much for being here.
Such a
You're an
so
absolute
fun. You
delight.
guys have a lovely day. I'm going to the bookstore to scare
Yeah.
some introverts.
Everybody say bye, Jen.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.